Hello and welcome. If you're here for a review of the Dacia Sendero,
that is, isn't it? It is a Dacia Sendero.
I'm afraid you're in the wrong place, because today we're going to be doing a review of the Eurohike Sendero 8XL tent. The cheapest I could find this tent at the time of making this video was £199 in Ultimate Outdoors, which is part of the Go Outdoors family of companies. While in Go Outdoors itself, the tent is currently £299 but out of stock. This is a tent designed to take up to 8 people, and it's aimed at the more budget end of the market. It's pitched using 5 fiberglass poles, and if my experience of pitching other Eurohike Sendero tents is anything to go by, this should be fairly easy to put up, with colour-coded poles that slot into place fairly easily. It's an extremely windy day today while I'm filming here at Go Outdoors, with wind up to 45 miles an hour, and the tent is holding up really well, especially considering these 2 guy lines in the middle here haven't been pegged out, and some around the sides are not really tight enough. The waterproof rating, or hydrostatic head rating of this tent, is 2000 millimeters. That's certainly not the highest by the standards of family tents, but my in-laws have one of these Eurohike tents and have never had any problems with water ingress. The tent only has one door on this side, so the large window, and then to the right of that is the main door and only door to the tent. There's vents on each end by the bedrooms. These here are strapped out, which opens them up a little bit to let fresh air inside the tent and keep condensation down. On this side you can see there's no door, but there is a small window. This is a net window which has sort of a fly sheet lining over the top, and the way you open this is from the outside. On this one there's just 2 zips up each side and it velcros at the bottom, and then you can see the mesh, which when open allows a bit more fresh air into the tent. The toggles at the top allow you to unzip it, roll it up and secure it so you can keep it open easily. The negative of this system really being that you can only open the window from the outside, not the inside. So let's take a look around the other side at the main door of this tent, the main and only door. This is opened with 2 zips up either side and secured at the bottom with Velcro. So there is no net part of this door, it is just this one fly sheet, which means if you've got the door open to let fresh air in, there is the possibility of bugs and creepy crawlies getting in. And here's that window that we looked at from the outside. On the inside you can see the mesh there and the fly sheet cover over the top. Now let's have a look at this main living area. It is an okay size, but it's certainly not huge, especially if you had the full 8 people in this tent. Under the window is the electricity access point, or EHU access point. This just zips open and closed to let your electricity lead come in. There is only one on this side. As you can see, there's not one on the other side of the tent. Another area where this tent saves a little bit of money and hits the price point. On the top here is a hook for a light, and there are some little straps, which is a nice touch to help you strap that wire in for your light at the top of the tent if that's how you're powering it. The window has a curtain on it. This can be strapped down at the bottom with little toggles and put up if you want some extra privacy. The tent has 2 bedrooms in vis-a-vis style, so they are at either end of the main living area. Both are exactly the same. There's no divider in the middle, so you'd have 4 people sleeping in here with nothing to divide them. The main door here zips to the side. There is no net sheet either to let a bit more fresh air in. It's either open or closed. What's handy is it does have some storage pods at the side here. I always think they're great for putting sort of your phone and your keys in, and it also has them on the other side as well, which I think is a nice touch. The bedrooms are not blackout, this is just a normal lining, so you can expect on a summer's morning to get plenty of light in. There is a hook to hang a light, and the gap for the vent at the back as well to let more fresh air into the bedroom. The bedrooms either end are exactly the same, and they hook in with little colour-coded toggles. Interestingly enough, the sign in the tent here gives us a price of £245, which is not the current price on the website, so always good to have a look around for a deal on these tents. Here you can see the toggles, the red one in the middle to make sure that you don't get them wrong. This bedroom is exactly the same as the other side. It's looking a little bit wonky at the back because it's not had its toggle put in, but that is easily fixed, and not the fault of the tent. I have to say the head height in here is pretty good as well. The bedrooms, being 240 centimeters wide, would accept 2 small double airbeds. You can get these from Decathlon that are 120 centimeters wide. They're the type that I use myself in my Hampton 8. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to take a look. So you could get 4 people in either side of this tent. although having 8 people in this tent for an extended period of time would be quite a squish with all your stuff. So if you are planning on putting 8 people in this tent, I'd only recommend it for a weekend or so. Considering this is an 8-man tent, the pack size is really good. It's a very compact bag considering this is a no-frills tent. It doesn't take any more space than it has to. You can also see there's some extra space in that bag to make packing it away easier. The weight of the tent is actually about half that of the Berghaus Air 8 tent that I looked at last week, giving you an idea that this really is a good compact package. So if space in the car is at a premium, this is a really good option. The tent doesn't have any accessories specific to this model, but there are a couple of things which I think would make this a bit more comfortable. The first recommendation would be a carpet. The Eurohike universal tent carpet in medium size should fit nicely in the living area and make the tent a little more comfortable. The other item, if you're going on more extended trips, would be a porch. There's not a porch that matches this tent specifically, but the Habitat's universal tent porch would fit and give you a nice storage space and a place to cook when the weather's not so great outside. So to recap, this is an 8-man, budget-friendly tent with no frills. It's got everything you need, but nothing that you don't. So don't expect to be in the lap of luxury and this to be the ultimate camping tent. That's not what this is about. It's a good value budget tent for those that probably want to try camping or do camping on a budget, or perhaps those that don't have a huge amount of space in their car. The small pack size of this tent will really help, and I really like that. This was a tent that I actually looked at myself when I was first getting into camping with my family. We almost bought it, but we actually decided to spend a little bit more and go for the Zenobia 8 tent, which has a few extra features which are important to us. However, this wouldn't have been a bad option for us and really a good introduction to camping. And although we did very much like our Zenobia 8 tent, we did eventually change that after a year. Not that it was a bad tent, but after camping for a while you find out things that you want and suit you better. So that's why I think this will be a great introduction to camping. You don't have to spend a lot on it, and the things you buy for the inside can be used in another tent when you do decide if and when to upgrade to another type of tent or to something that suits you better. I like the fact that this has got a sewn in ground sheet. That's something I didn't mention at the start. Much better for keeping the bugs and creepy crawlies out. And although having a sewn in ground sheet can cause a bit of condensation, this does have good vents at either end to keep that to a minimum. And I think that's definitely the best way to do it. I wouldn't have a tent without a sewn in ground sheet. I hope that's answered all your questions about this tent. If you do have any questions or any comments on the video, please do let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you do decide to buy one of these tents and get out camping, please let me know how it went. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video and found it useful, which I'm guessing you have done if you've watched until now, please do pitch up on the channel and subscribe. It really makes a difference and helps the channel grow. And if you want to buy me a beer to say thank you for the video, there's a link in the description to do that. Thanks again for watching and happy camping.